What's going on, people? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to Eli Talks Football, and welcome to another video of Premier League predictions for game week number 7. So this will be the last Premier League predictions before the October international break. So yeah, man. So we're gonna have to wait for 2 weeks until the Premier League is back. So another international football, and it can be good or it can be boring, but yeah, so far, we have seen some good moments, some best moments, and not the best moments. So there's only one team that is still looking for a win, because Villa managed to beat Fulham 3-1 and they got their first win. So that means the Wolves are still the only team to look for a win in the Premier League. So we're gonna have to wait and see what happens during that week. But there's gonna be some good games to watch and maybe not some good ones. And the game of the weekend is Chelsea versus Liverpool. Now I'm not quite sure why that game is not on a Sunday, because because the Premier League normally does big games, on a Sunday at 4:30. So the fact that this game is on a Saturday makes no sense, but it is what it is anyway. But that's the game of the weekend, Chelsea versus Liverpool. So there will be a watch along and a match reaction for that one tomorrow. So make sure you guys tune into that one. But yeah, it's time to do the predictions. And make sure you guys like, share, comment, subscribe on the road to 1K as usual. And yeah, I mean, we're in October, which is, Halloween month. So yeah, man. So if you guys enjoy Halloween, then that's good, but I don't. I really don't. But let's not talk about that much. Let's concentrate on the prediction. So without further ado, let's go. All right. So the first game is today, Friday night football. The second time that happened because of the West Ham Chelsea game, and it is Bournemouth versus Fulham. Of course, Bournemouth drew 2-2 away to Leeds United, whereas for Fulham, they lost away to Aston Villa. So but yeah, I believe Bournemouth has still only lost one game, which is absolutely crazy. And they did do well against Leeds, but they didn't manage to get that win. For Fulham, though, they started off really good. They were putting more pressure on Unai Emery, but in the second half, they took their foot off the gas, and Villa got the win. So in terms of this game, Bournemouth are unbeaten at home. I believe they have like so many wins except for Newcastle, which that game is a draw. So going into this game, I feel like Bournemouth will bounce back, and for Fulham, I feel like it's a must win for both teams. But since Bournemouth are home and since they're a really good team, I'm gonna go for Bournemouth 2-1 win. It's gonna be a very difficult game, of course, but I just think Bournemouth will edge it for me because I've been impressed by them, especially the likes of Semenyo, their manager as well. For Fulham, they are a good team. They got the likes of Alex Iwobi, King, and all that stuff. But Bournemouth are way better than Fulham. They are home, and it's going to be a very difficult game for them. So I'm going to go for Bournemouth win of 2-1. Friday night football, that will be live on Sky Sports. So I'll definitely be watching that game, and it should be a good one. Should be a good one. So yeah, Bournemouth are going to get that 2-1 win. Now the next game is a lunchtime kickoff, and it's Leeds United versus Tottenham Hotspur. Of course, both teams did drew their last game. Tottenham as well. I believe that's like three draws in a row because they drew to Brighton. They drew to who else did they drew to? They drew to Wolves, and they also drew to Bodo Glimt. So Tottenham, three draws in a row, which is a bit of concerning, but I still believe but listen, if you can't win, don't lose. And in those games, Tottenham were 2-0 down against Brighton and got a draw. They were 1-0 down against Wolves, got a draw. They were 2-0 down against Bodo Glimt, and they got a draw. And in that game, Bodo Glimt should have won because Tottenham looked absolutely awful. So Leeds United, though, I can't lie, they're really good at home. So far, no losses, like one win and two draws at home, so far. So it's going to be difficult for Tottenham, especially under Thomas Frank. I don't think they'll lose this game because, yes, it's a lunchtime kickoff, but, we've seen Arsenal win. It's only Man United didn't win at the lunchtime kickoff because Chelsea did. Who else? Arsenal did. I think Man City did. Actually, did they? No, they didn't. So a few teams do well in the lunchtime kicker, but not everyone. Yeah, Liverpool did as well. So yeah, it's gonna be tough for both teams. But I'm gonna go for a draw on this one. I'm gonna go for 1-1 because I have a feeling that If listen, I was thinking that Tottenham are gonna win this game. But when I heard somebody say that Leeds United are good at home, and I think to myself, that makes sense. I decide to go for a draw. So if Tottenham do win, I will not be surprised. If Leeds do win, I will not be surprised either because both teams drew their last game. So I'm gonna go for a draw on this one. I'm gonna go for 1-1 in that game. Right, the next one is a London derby, which is Arsenal versus West Ham United. Now, for me, this game should have been a Saturday at 5:30 p.m. kickoff because it's a London derby. Of course, West Ham United are away from home again because they did drew against Everton, and that was 1-1. For Arsenal, though, they got a massive, massive win against Newcastle at St James Park. So, as I'm recording this right now, Arsenal are 2 points behind Liverpool. If Arsenal win tomorrow, and then if let's say that Liverpool lose against Chelsea, Arsenal will be top of the league during the October international break. So that'll be good for Arsenal. But Arsenal need to get this win against West Ham United because I'm gonna read you a stat that will very, very shock you because when I saw this stat, I was shocked, but then I also remember. So let me just give you guys this stat because it is unbelievable. Look at this, guys. Arsenal have lost both of their last two home league games against West Ham, only ever losing three in a row once before November 1991 to March 1995. West Ham are looking to become the second time. Sorry, West Ham are looking to become the only um West Ham are looking to become only the second side to win three consecutive Premier League away games against Arsenal after Man City, who won six on the bounce from March 2018 to February 2023. Although Arsenal have only lost four of the last 42 home Premier League matches, 50% have been against West Ham, losing to the Hammers in December 2023 and February 2025, and those games were 1-0. So yeah, West Ham have lost more Premier League London derbies than any other side, suffering 8 defeats in the last 11 derby matches, only winning two and drawing one, and those two were against Arsenal. And finally, Arsenal won six of their last 8 Premier League matches with only two failures to win. In that one, coming against Liverpool 1-0 and Man City 1-1. The Gunners have more points than any other side since the start of this one on the 18th of May. So there, the stats, work for both West Ham and Arsenal 50-50. But listen, Arsenal cannot afford to lose to West Ham again because yes, Nuno is the new manager, and in the second half, West Ham did really good. But Arsenal, they've got Saka, who is available. They got Eze, who they signed. Victor Yokeres. Who else have they got? Zuba Mosquera. David Dwyer, that save that he made against Olympiacos was world class. So Arsenal cannot afford to lose again. They can't. Of course, Liverpool fans will be watching that game, and I will too. And before I go, I like to say Arsenal fans here, they're just hilarious. They don't realize they got their game at 3 o'clock. So they need to do the job. And if they don't beat West Ham yet again, and Liverpool win, then they got themselves to blame. They got themselves to blame. So Arsenal fans, make sure you do your job first before you start watching the Chelsea game and supporting and hoping that Chelsea can get a result against Liverpool. So you man do your job. But yeah, in terms of this game, I believe also going to get this win. Nuno, came, doesn't have a good record at the Emirates Stadium, although they did beat at the Arsenal only once, and that was during COVID. They didn't beat at the Emirates Stadium with fans. So yeah, I'm gonna go for 3-0 Arsenal win. I feel like they're gonna keep a clean sheet because William Saliba and Gabriel, two best centre backs so far. So yeah, I'm gonna go for an Arsenal 3-0 win. Oh, the goal scorers. For Leeds United, I don't know. For Tottenham, I'm gonna go for maybe with Charlison. For Bournemouth, Semenyo. For Fulham, I'm going to go for Alex Iwobi. For Arsenal, I'm going to go for Bukayo Saka, Victor Gyökeres, and let's say Eze as well. So yeah, 3-0 Arsenal. They'll get the job done. They'll get the job done. Now, the Everton Crystal Palace game is actually on a Sunday, so ignore that they put on a Saturday because just ignore that one. But yeah, the next game, of course, is Manchester United versus Sunderland. Now, Manchester United are still looking for back-to-back wins under Ruben Amorim, and he still cannot get one. Because after that win against Chelsea, they lost 3-1 against Brentford. But for Sunderland, though, my goodness me, they've only lost one game so far this season. One game. That is absolutely crazy. And Sunderland right now are in, I'm going to have a look at the table. Sunderland right now are in 5th place. And I tell you what, yeah, Sunderland will definitely stay up for me. I'm changing my prediction. Sunderland will definitely stay up. I know it's game week 7 and things could change, but I tell you what, Sunderland could potentially stay up. And they're on the same points as Tottenham and Bournemouth. You know what I mean? So it's absolutely crazy right now. But they go away to Old Trafford now. Now listen, Man United right now have to win this game, because you're at home. If it's away from home, then I understand that. But Man United are home. And listen to this, guys. Man United have lost just 2 of the last 30 league games against Sunderland, with their first since a 3-0 win in April uh 2017. Across all competitions, Sunderland have managed to win just one of the last 31 away games against Man United, winning 1-0 in May 2014 thanks to Sebastian Lemerson's winner. Man United have won 2 of the last 2 Premier League home matches, as many that have their previous 9 combined at Old Trafford. I know one was against Chelsea. What's the other one? I think it may have been Burnley. Yeah, it may have been Burnley, yeah. The Red Devils are looking for 3 consecutive home wins for the first time since winning 8 in a row between April and August 2023. And then, that was under that was under Ten Hag. Sunderland have won just one out of 29 Premier matches against Manchester clubs, a points per game of just 0.24, which is the worst of any side to play more than 15 away games against United and City. And finally, Man United are unbeaten in their last 24 Premier League games against newly promoted sides since losing 4-1 to Watford in November 2021. That was under Ole. The Hornets were also the last promoted side to stop United scoring in a 0-0 draw in February 2022. So there you go. So the stats work in Man United's favour because as you heard, Man United are unbeaten against newly promoted sides. So Man United simply have to win this game. And I want Ruben Amorim to stay, even though he beat Chelsea and I was still angry. I want Ruben Amorim to stay. And if I hear that Gareth Southgate is coming to Man United, then that'll make it even better because Gareth Southgate is a bottle job. He doesn't win trophies. Didn't do it with England. So for me, if they want Gareth Southgate, they can have him. But I hope Man United's downfall continues. I really do hope so. But yeah, for this game, um, I'm gonna go for Man United to win, and it's gonna be a tough one because Sunderland are a really good team. They managed to beat Forest away from home, and if it wasn't for their goalkeeper who's the man of the match, they'll have lost that game. So yeah, I'm gonna go for Man United to win. I think Sunderland will lose again at Old Trafford. So yeah, I'm gonna go for 2-1. Goal scorers for Sunderland, maybe Granit Xhaka because sometimes he loves scoring against Man United. The other goals for Man United, I'm gonna go for Benjamin Sesko and Bruno Fernandes. So yeah, 2-1 to Man United. They simply have to win this game. Just having a quick look at the other fixtures. So give me just a second. Because I know there's another Premier League game on Saturday, isn't there? Mm. Oh no, there isn't. So the next one, of course, is Chelsea versus Liverpool. Of course, Chelsea did beat Liverpool last season at Stamford Bridge 3-1, but that was a drunken Liverpool. I've got to be honest with you. And yes, I was happy, but I had to admit that was a drunken Liverpool. And Liverpool could be on the verge to lose 3 games in a row under Andrew Slot, and this never happened before. So it's a must-win game for both teams. Of course, Chelsea looking to bounce back after they lost 2 Premier League games in a row, and both of them being a red card. And Chelsea are now becoming red card FC because now we got 3 red cards in 4 games in all competitions, 2 in the Premier League and 1 in the Champions League. So you know it's just getting to a point where we're becoming like red card FC. And the reason why I'm not going to predict a Chelsea win is because I have a sick feeling that we're going to get another red card and another injury because there's no Chalobah, there is no Tosin, there is no Santos. Now he's got a knock. There is no Cole Palmer. There is no who else is unavailable? Let me see. Of course, there's no Levi Colwell. I believe that might be it. I think that's it. If I miss anything else, then I do apologize. But if Chelsea did have their full squad, then maybe just maybe I'll be confident that we might get to win this game. But without key players, yeah, I don't see Chelsea winning this game. It's a must win for both teams. Don't get me wrong, but for me, I feel like it's going to be a draw because Liverpool haven't won at Stamford Bridge since 2020 when it was 2-0, and I believe Kepa got a red card for that, or he made a mistake. I can't remember, but that was the last time. So yeah, in the last 5 years, Liverpool haven't won at Stamford Bridge, and they're looking to break that record. And listen, if Liverpool win, they go on top. If Chelsea win, then we'll be. In fact, what happens if Chelsea win? I'm just gonna have a quick look at the table. If Chelsea, let's say that Chelsea win, and the likes of you know other teams drop points, then Chelsea will be in we will be in fifth place because of goal difference. So we'll be back of you know getting to the top five. But if Chelsea lose this game, and because look at this, we are on the same points as Everton, Brighton, Fulham, and Leeds United. If we lose this game, Chelsea could potentially finish 12th. So listen, Chelsea. The pressure is on them to win, and so is Liverpool, but it's more on Chelsea because we have to win this game. Anyhow, we lose this game, we are in trouble. Chelsea could be in big trouble. So, but I'm just gonna go for draw on this one. I'll be very surprised if Chelsea win because of the injuries and the suspension we got. And of course, Liverpool are without the likes of Ekitike and Alisson. So Isak is going to start, and they're saying goalkeeper's going to start as well. If they would have stick to Kanaha, maybe he could have done something because he did make some big saves when we drew 2-2 against Brentford. So there we go. But yeah, I'm just gonna go for a draw. Goal scorer, maybe João Pedro for Liverpool, Alexander Isak because he always scores against Chelsea. I have no doubt. So yeah, it's gonna be a draw 1-1. I don't see Chelsea winning this game, but I'll be very happy if we do. It's as simple as that. But yeah, moving on into Sunday's games. Let me just drag this down here. Moving on to Super Sunday, Villa versus Burnley. Now Villa are now starting to pick up full right now because they won 2 games in a row. They won yesterday against Fenyard away from home, which is a difficult place to go to, 2-0. They also won against Fulham. 3-1 earlier, before the that last weekend. So Villa starting to really pick up form. For Burnley though, they've lost 5-1 to Manchester City. When they drew 1-1, when I saw the results be 1-1 at half time, I was thinking, boy, could Burnley cause a shock here? But nope, Man City won 5-1. So there you go. And yeah, let me just have a look at the stats for that one. The Burnley Villa game. I'm just gonna have a quick look. I want to see how Burnley did in the Villa Park. So Villa have won both of their last two Premier League games with against Burnley, but have won more consecutive league meetings with the Clarence since March 1990. That's more than a century. Burnley's last visit to Villa saw them lose 3-2 in December 2023. They have lost more consecutive away matches at Villa in April 1996, four in a row. Villa are unbeaten in the last 60 Premier matches against newly promoted sides, winning 12 and drawing 4, since losing 3-0 to Fulham in October 2022. So there you go on that one. So yeah, Villa, they've got their first win of the season in the Premier League, and they're looking to get another win, because as it stands right now in the table, Villa are in um where's Villa? Villa are in 16th place. If they win today, sorry, on Sunday, and IT's drop points, then they can move further up the table, and Unai Henry will not be under pressure. So there you go. For this game on Sunday, I'm gonna go for a Villa 3-1 win, because Burnley, I mean, they could be the only positive team to be, going down, or it might be Leeds United. I really don't know, but yeah, I feel like Villa will bounce back, because that win against Fulham and against Fenyard will give them much confidence, and Unai Emery will not be under serious pressure. So yeah, I'm gonna go for 3-1 Villa win. Goal scorer, I'm gonna go for John McGinn. I'm gonna go for Buendia and Ollie Watkins for Burnley. Not sure who's going to be scoring for them, but yeah, I'm going to go for a 3-1 Villa win. Now, the next one is Newcastle versus Nottingham Forest. Of course, Newcastle lost at home against Arsenal, but they got that 4-0 win against that team that I don't even know. So I don't even know how to pronounce that team's name. I'm just going to say USG for short, but there we go. But Forest, though, my goodness me, across all competitions, Forest haven't got a win on the end. So I believe they lost against Swansea, they lost against Sunderland. Who else did they lose to? Arsenal. They drew to Burnley, and they drew to that team, World Betters. Oh yeah, and they've also lost last night. So that's like 0 wins, 2 draws, and 4 losses. They lost yesterday against Midtjylland, and Chris Wood scored 2 goals, but he was offside. That game could have been a Forest win if Chris Wood would have timed his one perfectly, but things are not looking good for Ange. And now I'm seeing some Forest fans booing him and saying to him, you're getting sacked in the morning. And some Forest fans want Ange out already after 6 games. Well, if I was a Forest fan, yes, I'll be having a go at Ange, but I think Forest fans have to, have a go at their owner, because sacking Nuno was the worst thing to do. Yes, don't get me wrong. Nuno didn't, was this close of getting Forest back into the Champions League after so many years, but he didn't. You know, they finished seventh. Sorry, yeah, they finished seventh at that time, and yeah, the likes of sorry, they finished sixth. Did they? Yeah, they finished sixth because Villa were above them, and yeah, so they finished sixth. But because of Crystal Palace, winning the FA Cup, Crystal Palace would have been in the Europa League. But because of that FFP rules, Forest when the champ were in the Europa League. You know what I mean? So for me, at least Nuno brought Forest back into European football. And like I said, their team was really good last season, especially when they beat Brighton 7-0. So sacking him was the terrible thing to do. Don't get me wrong, Ange Postecoglou did win the Europa League for Tottenham, but let's not get it twisted. Tottenham are a bigger club than Forest because I only seen Forest win one trophy in my lifetime. Only one, and that was in the championship. That's it. No major trophy in my lifetime. Tottenham twice in my lifetime. So that's the only difference. So, but yeah, 0 wins, 2 draws, and 4 defeats. And I think that Newcastle is going to add more pressure to Ange Postecoglou. Some of them want them sacked already, which is crazy. But yeah, look at the table right now. Nottingham Forest are in 17th. Only one win. One win. And I'm just trying to remember who that win was. I'm just trying to think. In fact, let me just have a look. In fact, when was the last time Forest ever got to win? I'm just gonna have a quick check. And that was against Brentford on the opening day of the fixture. Brentford, and that was under Nuno. Ever since then, they did drew to Palace, which Palace are a very good team, and they lost to West Ham, which was a shock at that time. But look at this. Arsenal but Ange Postecoglou came in, lost 3-0 to Arsenal, lost 3-2 to Swansea in the Carabao Cup, drew 1-1 against Forest, sorry, against Burnley, drawn 2-2 against Royal Betis, lost to Sunderland at home, and lost yesterday to Midtjylland. You know what I mean? And they're going away to Newcastle, and they got Chelsea after that. So, yeah, man, I think Newcastle are going to add more pressure, and yeah, I feel like Forest are going to. I feel like Ange Postecoglou is going to go 7 games without a win. So yeah, Newcastle are going to win this game 2-0. I think, yeah, I don't see Forest getting a scoring this game, let alone win it. So I'm gonna go for a 2-0 Newcastle win. I'm gonna go for the Newcastle goal scorers. I'm gonna go for Veltman and Anthony Gordon because he scored 2 penalties away to USG. So yeah, 2-0 to Newcastle. Forest right now, boy, 17th, 17th, and I'm looking at the table right now. Let's If Forest do lose this game, and let's say the likes of Burnley and West Ham get a result, Forest could be in the relegation zone. They could potentially be. And if Wolves beat Brighton, there'll be 1 point. I repeat, 1 point behind Forest. So this why the owner getting rid of Nuno, bringing in Ange was the worst thing to do. So yeah, Newcastle are going to add more pressure to Ange Postecoglou. So yeah, 2-0 to Newcastle is going to be my prediction. Right, the next game is Brighton versus Wolves. Of course, Brighton got that win against my club, Chelsea. For Wolves, though, still looking for their first win. Of course, they got their first point of the season, which was away to Tottenham, but still no wins for them. Still no wins. And yeah, if you look at Brighton, they've won 2, drawn 2, and lost only 2. So Brighton away from home are a very good team. Very, very good team. So yeah, for this game, I'm gonna go for Brighton win because Wolves last game at home was against Leeds United and they lost 3-1. And I think Brighton are going to do the same thing. I'm going to go for 3-1 to Brighton. I don't know who the Wolves goal scorer will be, but I know that Brighton's goal scorers are going to be Matoma, Danny Welbeck, and to score a brace because he came on as a substitute and scored 2 goals. I believe he'll do the same thing against Wolves. So, yeah, I feel like Wolves are going to have another game without a win. So, yeah, I'm going to go for a 3-1 Brighton win on that one. Then on Sunday at 4:30 p.m. kickoff, we have Brentford versus Manchester City. Of course, Brentford got a 3-1 win against Manchester United, whereas for Man City, they got that 5-1 win at home against Burnley. So for this game, um, for this game, Manchester City, by the way, you know, took the lead against Monaco twice, but ended up pegging him back twice. So Brentford are a really good team. They really are. And Brentford at home so far have been good. They drew to Chelsea. They beat Manchester United, and now they're facing Man City, who are top club. Now, many people will say that Man City will win this game, and maybe they could, but Brentford are a good team. Jordan Henderson, is still, at his age, still doing good, in the Premier League. Got an assist for Brentford's first goal when, against Chelsea. And Igor Jesus as well is looking really good for Brentford as well. So yeah, Jordan Henderson will definitely do something. And would I say that Man City are back? Not yet, but maybe. But Man City right now are in seventh place. If they beat Brentford on Sunday and other teams drop points, let's say the likes of let's say Arsenal, Palace, Tottenham, Sunderland, and Bournemouth drop points, then Man City could be in second because of goal difference. So Man City they have to open play that Liverpool, Arsenal, Palace, Tottenham, Sunderland, and Bournemouth drop points. They beat Brentford on Sunday, and they could be 2 points behind Liverpool themselves. So, Man City could be back in the title race after they have the bad start. So, yeah, if you look at the last three games, they're unbeaten, 2 wins and a draw. So, let's see how they can do against Brentford. But I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw because Brentford are a good team, especially at home. I'm going to go for 2-2. Goal scorers for this one, I'm going to go for Erling Haaland for Man City and Phil Foden because he's starting to look good. For Brentford, I'm going to go for Jordan Henderson. Actually, no, Igor JC to score a brace. So yeah, I'm gonna go for a 2-2 on this one. But I feel like but I have a feeling that Man City will win this game. But yeah, I'm gonna go for 2-2 draw because Brentford are a very good team. All right, so that is all my Premier predictions. Let me go through them one more time. So today's game, Bournemouth against Fulham. I went for Cherry's 2-0 win against the Cottages. Then Saturday's games, I've gone for a 1-1 draw and a kickoff between Leeds United and Tottenham Hotspur. Then I've gone for 3-0 Arsenal win against West Ham United. Then I've gone for a 2-1 Man United win against Sunderland. Then I've gone for a 1-1 draw between Chelsea and Liverpool. Then I didn't even talk about the Palace game. 1 second. So let me talk about that one. So yeah, Everton faced Crystal Palace. My goodness me, I saw a stat that says Palace are 90 games unbeaten in all competition, and that's a club record in for 56 years. I tell you, Olivia Glasser is doing a fantastic job for Crystal Palace. They really are. 90 games unbeaten, and some of the games are against Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, Tottenham, and Chelsea. You know what I mean? So Palace are a very good team. They got away to Hill Dickinson Stadium, which is the first which they'll visit for the very first time this season. So, but listen, Everton so far at home are really good. They beat Brighton, drew to Villa, drew to West Ham. So it's going to be difficult for Crystal Palace, but I have the feeling that they're going to get a win. It's going to be a tight one, but I think maybe this game might be a draw, but it's going to be a tight one. So yeah, for this game, I'm going to go for a 2-1 Palace win. Goal scorers, I'm going to go for Eddie Nketiah and Jon Philip Mateta. For Everton, I'm going to go for Beto. So yeah, 2-1 to Palace is my prediction on Sunday. And then I went for an Aston Villa 3-1 win against Burnley. Um, Newcastle 2-0 win against Forest. 3-1 Brighton win against Wolves, and a 2-2 draw between Manchester City and Brentford at the GT Community Stadium. So that is all my Premier predictions for game week number 7, people. So that is all. That is it for this video. If you guys got your Premier predictions, do let me know. And if there's anything else I missed, that should know, do let me know and I'll react to them as soon as I can. But that is it, people. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the bonus notification so that you never ever miss any of my YouTube content. And yeah, the last one before the October international break. So we'll see what the table looks like after game week 7 before the international break. And could Liverpool be top during the international break, or could it be Arsenal? We shall wait and see what happens. But I want to say thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the games, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And yeah, enjoy you and big up your damn selves. In a big, people. Peace.